Okay. So I just want to welcome you to come and do what you want today. If you would like to rest from the very get-go, please feel free not to stand up. But what we'll do, and can you hear me fine? Can you give me a thumbs up? Awesome. Okay, great. So let's just take some hip circles. Let's land on the mat in our bodies. Inhale forward, exhale around. You'd be surprised how lovely these rotations are for the body. So I like to start class with that. Inhaling, and you could do your rotation seated if you'd really like to sit on the floor. You could do that. Inhaling forward and exhaling around. So I could really use some nice grounding and maybe even some lighthearted movement, given the little post-election breather here, or in the middle of it. Anyway, yoga is such a wonderful tool. Inhale, hips come forward. Exhale around and back. Good, just that is so delicious. Yes, nice breath. And we just warm and loosen that low back nice and slowly. Good, and then we'll change direction, still inhaling with the hips as they come forward, exhale around and back. Letting go of your suitcases, put them down on the train and you just ride. Inhale forward, exhale back. Letting the to-do list float down the river. Good. Any yawns or sighs that come up, you just let that happen. Yoking together the breath and the movement. Good. Nice. Let's take a centering breath. Inhale, the hands come up. Pause. And exhale down through your center. Come the stacked palms. Yeah. Inhale, hands come up. Pause. Exhaling down through centering breath. Good. Good, and then let's just take our tassel twist. Let's just do a few of these to warm and loosen that low back. Let the hands, let the arms be heavy. My cat last night was running, meowing and running around kind of in the middle of the night. And I'm like, is she tuning into the election energy? What is this? So anyway, things are a little heightened and it's good to get grounded. So just breathing into your low belly, breathe into your feet. Good. And we let the arms just tap the body and then let the body just rock you to a stop. Nice. And then I'm just going to take a shoulder shake and Bhastrika breath, which is this dog pant through the nose. So you take them up and down, and on the exhales when they come down. So I'll come close for a sec. It's like this. Just like that, a few rounds. And then you let that come to a pause. Good. And we'll take that one more time. It's a really good one for bailing out any tension you don't need. So once again, shoulder shake and Bhastrika. Bhastrika means bellows breath, the kind you use for the fireplace. And you stop, just after a few so you don't get lightheaded. Yeah. And then let's take our shoulders around. Inhale, they come up. Exhale around and down. Yes. So if nothing else, you could do your rotations. If you've got 3 minutes, you could do a few hips, a few shoulders, and a few rounds with the head, and just take a moment to breathe. It's amazingly helpful for our perspectives. Inhaling up, exhale around and down. Inhaling and exhaling. Good, and then we'll change directions with the shoulders. So inhale, they come up. Exhale, around and down. It seems really simple, but we're getting a lot of lubrication in the joints and a lot of breath in the body that we normally might not quite be getting. And it's just really valuable. Just to do a little is huge. Inhaling up, exhale down and around. Good. And then you choose an exhale to let the shoulders come down. Stay nice and low and relaxed. Good. And then we'll just take the head in a few rotations. Inhaling, so you have that wonderful exhale to come around and down with the chin. Inhaling up, exhaling around and forward. Inhaling and letting the breath go. Letting the thoughts go. And just focusing on the breath and the sensations in the body, all those little mini stretches you feel. Your mind can focus on that, and that is the meditation. The yogis were smart. They know that the mind needs a job. It's what it's good at. So you give it a simple one, and it'll have something to chew on while you're relaxing. There you go. Good. Let's change direction. So pausing in the middle, and then exhale next. Second side around, second direction rather. We only have one head, most of us. Inhaling up, exhale around and down. However, it is recently Halloween, so you never know. Inhale up, exhale around and forward. Up and exhaling. Good. And again, making sure you've got, water nearby, anything cozy that you want, such as music or blankets or, the 15 pillows you've gathered from around the house, just kind of thinking toward getting on the floor soon and having those items around. If you need to move up and to get them, I don't mind at all. Good. Let's take the inhale next as the head comes up. Yeah, good. And we just pause in the center. I'm going to take a drink of water. It's been hot today, yeah? Water helps our brains hook up and feel more clarity, get those electrical signals. It's good for us. So let's take our hands to the sides and just roll the wrists. One direction. And then exhale and breathe other direction. Shannon's noticing the kitties making an appearance. It's good with this white background, the black cat shows up. That's the point, right? Good. And then we just wiggle it out, let it go. Oh, what else sounds good? Let's do a little bit of a wide stance, like you're on a horse. Yeah. And then I want to cover, I'm going to stack the palms on across the heart here. Yeah. Inhale, center, exhale to the side. Any amount. It doesn't have to look like much. Very nice. Good. Inhale, center. I'm looking at our chats. Oh, good. You're just having sweet chats. That's good to hear. Good. And then coming to center. And then let's draw ourselves to the side on the other side. Good. So nice. Good. Come to center. Feel the strength in those thighs. I can feel it already. You know, if we were in a gym class, we'd say, you know, feel the burn, but that's not what we're doing in yoga. So if you want to back off, you can. Let's just tilt to the side again, and then we'll come around or on the horizon forward at the thigh crease, any amount. Make it nice and small and juicy at first, and then it can open up for you. So a few times around. Exhale around and forward. So nice. Good. Come to center, and we'll go the other direction. Inhale that center. Exhale to the side and around the horizon and up and around and forward, going at your own breath pace. Good. Just getting into that low back a little bit is always a good idea for our backs and our whole body. Good. Let's come up to center. Let the legs lengthen and come back to center with the hips under the feet under the hips. Good. Now let's take hands at the side, palms forward. And I'm just going to let the arms come around in a kind of big Ferris wheel swoop. Point the fingertips down at the top, and down they come toward the hips, kind of like they're dripping water. Yeah. Inhale. And then here at the bottom, I'm going to bend the knees slightly, open the palms, and take no breath there. And then I inhale, kind of swoop the arms up and down, water dripping off your fingertips down toward the hips. Good. No breath, open palms, bend the knees. Inhale, swoop it up, open the chest, and down, come the hands. Good, open hands, bend the knees, swoop it up, and this time you scoop the air behind you, and then maybe you bend forward just a touch, just a little. Good, and then open palms, scoop the arms. Let them just drip forward and come down maybe just a little further. So we're working into the low back. Yeah. Opening, scoop, and drip forward, just drifting down, maybe a little further. Legs do not need to be straight unless you want them that way. Open the hands and just taking a few more rounds, your own breath pace. Scooting down. Good. Opening palms. And they come up. Taking maybe one more forward fold bend. Good. And open the palms. Good. Maybe the hands swoop up one more time, and then just let them come back down. We'll just take a pause. Good. So that can be a nice juicy one for slowly getting into the low back. Yeah. Good. And then I just want to take something from Kumni really quick, and then we'll get into the floor and just relax. But first, let's just take, this is a Kumni meditation I learned in Berkeley a long time ago. You may have tried it before. You just inhale, and then exhale comes the chin down toward the chest, and that's it. Yeah? And then you inhale there. Exhaling, you let the shoulders sort of come round forward. Just a tiny bit. So you incrementally come down toward the floor with your hands, but you go this slow. Inhaling. Exhale, maybe you fold forward just a slight bit more with the shoulders. We get all these meridians in our back, nice and slowly stretched, very relaxing for the nervous system, as long as it's fine on your back. Inhale here. So you don't keep coming up, you stay where you are. And then exhale a little tiny further bit down as long as you exhale. Good, inhale there. And exhale just a little further. I feel it there in my middle low back. And you want it to feel good. If it's feeling twingy, back off. Inhale, exhaling down just a little more. This is an old meditation practice. Inhaling, exhaling, down just another inch. And we're going fast right now, if you can believe it. Inhale. So if you want to go slow, go hang out with people who are doing Kumni practice. Inhale and exhale another inch. When I was doing this for the first time, I kept looking around the room being like, are we done yet? But it's just wonderful. Inhale and exhale. Maybe the hands come almost to the floor, but not quite. And one more time. Inhale and exhale. Maybe you massage the toes with the fingers. You could bend the knees. Good. And then we inhale slowly up. Good. So that's our Kumni practice for the day. Let's come in to a wide-legged down dog before going to the floor. So we've got a wide stance, but not too wide. Yeah. And then let's just fold forward at the thigh crease, hands come toward the floor. And we'll just rock forward and back. If you want, you could put a block down if that's where things are at, or find a chair, hold the chair instead of coming all the way to the floor, whatever is available. And then we inhale forward, exhale back. So the hips rock just forward and back, gently, slowly. And this is our glide slope down to the floor. Getting that inversion here, so nice. Good, and when you're cooked, you just heel toe your feet together, come down to hands and knees, maybe take a couple cat-cows because, you know, we're here. Inhaling, tip the tailbone up, breastbone forward. I'm not very back bendy, so it looks like I'm just sitting here. But you might, you know, get a little dip in your back. And exhale, draw the navel toward the spine. And round the back. Halloween cat. Inhale, tip the tailbone up, breastbone forward. And exhale, round the back. A few more in your own breath pace. And then we'll take a load off and get on the floor. Nice, luxurious breath. Supple spine. Good. That's beautiful. And then bring the body back to a center, to the neutral spine, and let's just come back and rest if it works for your knees. If not, just come to a seat on the floor. But let's just take a child's pose if it's available. Heels the hips come toward the heels and arms extended. Just breathe there for a sec. You can walk the hands over to one side. Get a little side stretch in the side body. Getting the body ready to relax. Come to the center, coming to the other second side. And breathe. Side body, other side. Breath, sending the breath there. Couple more breaths. And coming to center, walk the hands. Good. And then let's just come to a comfortable seat on the floor. And I'm just going to take a couple rotations on the seated position, and then we'll come into our Maui. If you want to beat us there, feel free. Or if you're already there, cheers. But for some reason with the staying at home more, I just need to move a little bit before I lay down. Inhale, so I have one knee bent. Yeah, one knee, leg extended. Nice. Inhale, center, and I just exhale over the bent knee and around and up. Just to take a few in each on each side, and then start eyeing your Maui materials. Inhaling up, exhaling around. Noticing how we're getting into the hamstrings here, the low back. Nice, easy breath on the movement. And when we just are gentle with the body, often our limits will open up for us if we're not pushing it. Yeah, very nice. Getting into the groins, the low back, the hamstrings, so nice. Inhaling up to the center. Breathe, just take a sec and breathe. In the middle, doing nothing but breathing. Good, and let's lengthen one leg, draw the straight one in. Inhale, and then we have the lovely exhale to lengthen over the bent knee. And up. And around. Good. Inhaling up. And exhaling around and forward. Can you hear the kitty? She has to make a cameo. Inhale up. And exhaling. Animals love yoga. See, she's doing the Miss America wave with her tail. They like it so much. Inhaling up. There's the flick tail, which means they've kind of had enough of you. And then there's the Miss America wave, which means kind of content. Yeah. Yeah, good. Inhaling and exhaling. We'll come up to stay up on the next inhale. And it might not be the very next one. You might want to do one more, two more. Good. And let's find our Maui. So if you have bolsters, great. If you have a sofa or a bed nearby, you can rest your legs up on that. I have this little stool. And I'm just going to come to a sort of a fetal position. If you want a little bit of a blanket under the head, feel free to do that. And so I'll just lay down on this sort of fetal position and then roll onto my back and place the legs on top of whatever you've got. So I have this little stool, but you might just pile a bunch of pillows. And it doesn't matter, all of it works. You could stack two bolsters and let the feet hang off, that works, kind of like a little Stonehenge. So the cat's blending into my black tank top. So hopefully you can see. And here we're just going to breathe. Take a load off. That's one of my favorite lines from Raising Arizona, that movie with Nicolas Cage. Someone comes over to Nicolas Cage's house and the first thing he says is, take a load off. So fun. Great movie, by the way. So let's just inhale and exhale. Yeah, and then feeling the thigh bones fall deep into the thigh sockets. Noticing yourself starting to slow down. And if the mind is still moving, you can give it a job. You can give it a beautiful orange, peachy gold color to concentrate on if you like. You inhale that color into all the cells of your body. And then exhaling clouds or anything you don't any longer need. And practicing that, see how that feels. The yogis are pretty interested in you trying things out and see how it feels. And that's how they figured all these things out. And from the oral tradition, it's been passed along for thousands of years. Somewhere around 4,000 years. That's a lot of word of mouth. That's pretty fun, huh? Inhaling and exhaling, drawing the senses into the midbrain. Letting yourself sigh or yawn. Relaxing the jaws. Relax the throat. And the tongue is long and easy in the mouth. Eye gaze soft. Feeling your body print in sand. And the sand is warm from the sun, melting away any tension you might feel. Hollow belly, relaxed belly brain. Breathing in that beautiful color. And exhaling clouds or exhaling gratitude. And I'll be quiet while you practice that for a few more minutes. Let yourself give yourself to the earth. And if the mind starts to story tell or wander, just anchoring back into the body with the breath. And think of your feet. Send your mind to your feet. And then deepening your breath. Feeling free to stay in pose as long as you wish. And if you're ready to move, you can bring the feet up onto the bolsters or the edge of the seat and rolling to your side. Take a couple breaths. Doing nothing but breathing. Good. And our next pose we'll take is our supported bridge. So if you have a pillow or a bolster, you might think about that. And we'll just press hands into the floor as we roll on up. Head is heavy and comes up last. Good. So this next piece, I'm going to take a bolster and what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it lengthwise on the mat. You could just use a long pillow and stack a couple on top of each other. It doesn't have to be an official bolster. Not all of us have that at home, and it doesn't matter. Sometimes when it's more subtle, as in a pillow or two, it feels even more opening because your body doesn't resist it. Yeah. And so feeling good about whatever props you have. I'm going to sit on the bottom third of the bolster. And what I'm going to do is then just take myself down using the hands to support me as I come down rolling onto my back. And I'm just going to go until the bottom tips of the shoulder blades are at the top of the bolster. Yeah. So coming down. And you let the head come down to the floor. And here, the tops of the shoulders are coming toward the floor, but the shoulder blades are not flat on the floor. They're lifted. So C7 at the base of the neck is not touching the floor at all. And this, we get a chest opener bent. We've got knees bent, feet on the floor. So nice. So here we are, Setu Bandha, supported bridge. And just breathing here for a few rounds of breath and scooching up or down so that you've got the right sweet spot for your shoulder blades. And if you're someone who really wants to do another pose right now, you let yourself do that. I'm picturing Shannon like setting up and legs up the wall and doing some various stretches. So always do that. When your body's calling for something, you just kind of sneak off to your place and you go do the delicious pieces you really want. So inhaling and exhaling here. And I remember Victoria has, I think, a leaning toward the sideline pose. So maybe sometime we'll do that, maybe even today. I haven't done that for a while. It's not something I do at home for some reason. Inhaling and exhaling and breathing into the space between the sternum and the spine, creating more and more space with each inhalation. And with these chest openers, it's good for our thyroid and our parathyroid, good for the sinuses, preventing headaches and alleviating them if you already have one. There's something about the chin coming toward the chest that can really help a headache that you've already got. I've done that before, just seated, drawing the
chin to the chest for a lot of rounds of breath, and somehow it has alleviated something. And the liftedness in the chest is a treat to ourselves. It uplifts the mood. So it's good for any depression, anxiety. Breathing in and breathing out, relax the jaws. Maybe squeeze the buttocks together and then release, can help create a release in the low back. Sighing if that's available. And in this position, we don't look side to side because it protects the neck, to just keep it in line with the spine, which rhymes. Keep the head in line with the spine in this pose. Por favor. And especially doing a fair bit of, bending forward in our looking at our computers and devices. And we just counterbalance that with this beautiful opening. Keeping the upper back supple and open. Good. And then when you're ready, feeling free to stay here another 5 minutes if it's feeling delicious. And if you're ready to move, I'm a little hard pressed to move. And I also do want to move. I'm a little just luxuriating for just a few more breaths. So always knowing you don't have to move right when it occurs to you. You can go, yeah, maybe I'll do that. Oh, maybe I'll just stay here a few more breaths. This sort of easygoing sort of no agenda. Let yourself do what feels good. So I'm just going to draw myself over to the side, mindful we're on some height, slowly over to the side. You can rest your head onto your upper arm and just breathe for a couple breaths. Good, and then I'm going to use the strength of my arms to press on up into a seat. Good. So now let's take a twist. I'm going to take a blanket or a cushion or a bolster, whatever you have available. A stacked couple of blankets works just beautifully here. And piling some pillows. Find the right height for your body. If you have a block, you can place it under. Remember how we used to do this, y'all? Medium block and a flat block at the head of the mat, like a little stair step, and place the bolster over that. If you happen to have stuff, and if you don't, flat on the floor works just fine. Yeah. So I'm going to demonstrate flat on the floor because some of us just don't have the blocks, and it really doesn't matter. It just makes it a variation. So I'm going to come with my center of my hip to the center of the bolster. You can take a blanket between the knees if you like. Feels nice. And then I'm going to press my hand closest to my feet into the bolster and arch to the side. Does this look familiar? So nice. Oh, I don't do this often enough. Good. And then exhaling, I come down with the belly toward, coaxing the belly toward the bolster, and I just lay down onto the cushion. And I apologize, I'm blending into my bolster. I'll have to put a white pillowcase on it next time. That would be a fun idea. So just drawing yourself back up to readjust if you want, lengthen the spine, and then you come back down. If your bolster is on blocks, you can hug the bolster and that can feel good. Either way is just wonderful. Breathe here. We'll be here for a few rounds of breath. Like wringing out a washcloth. So nice. It's so fun doing this on camera. You never think about how you want to color coordinate yourself in contrasting colors with your props. It's like a new skill. It's fun. So breathing in and out. And just getting a little twist. Letting yourself really, really surrender to the bolster more and more. Surrendering to the support beneath you. And sometimes a yawn will come up when you're really starting to relax. Yawns are a very nice way to release tension. Couple more breaths. Good. And staying there if you want for a while. If you're ready, I'm just going to press up with my hands. Let the head come up last. Head is heavy as I come up to a seat. Good. And let's just change to the other hip. I'm changing sides with the bolster, but you don't need to. I'm just doing it so you can see. Good. So here, just take the other side hip to the edge of the bolster. Place a blanket under between the knees if you like. Yeah. And then hand closest to the feet presses into the bolster as you arch to the side with the other arm. Remember the glowy red curtains in the studio? You can picture these beautiful images, with the sun filtering through. These images you can use in your yogi slideshow, and they really can bring a lot of pleasure. Those gold and red drapes, curtains are so pretty, made of the fabric that you would make saris from in India. Good. Yes. And then exhaling down onto the bolster, use the back hand to coax the navel toward the cushion. Yes. And you come down, head turns to the side. And you breathe here for a few more rounds of breath.
And seeing, noticing where you're holding on, see if you can let go more and more into the support beneath you, into the floor, into the earth. We'll be here for maybe 10 more rounds of breath. Always feeling free to come out before then if you want. Breathing into the twist. Letting the breath spiral up and down the spine. Gently. Good. And then let's press hands into the floor, lingering and staying if you wish, always. If you're ready, just pressing hands into the floor. Head is heavy, comes up last as you roll up to a seat. And then I'm just going to clear my mat for just a moment of any props. And I'm just going to lay on my back for a sec. If you want to get straight into your Shavasana, feel free. What I'm going to do is just lay down for one hamstring stretch before I get into my Shavasana pose. So I'm just going to lay onto the floor and knees bent, feet on the floor. I like to just do a little back care here. So extend that left leg. Clasp hands around the back of the thigh. So nice. And knee does not have to be straight. If you need a blanket under your head and your chin is cocked up, feel free with that. Or you don't have to clasp the hands. You can just hold your sweatpants, whatever you can reach, and you reach the heel of the foot up to the sky. Good. And then let's draw the knee to the chest. Good. Inhaling, lengthen. Heel to the sky, flex the foot. And let the knee come to the chest, bent knee. Squeeze. On the inhale, good. One more time, lengthen and reach. My hamstrings have been a little tighter lately, and I just really value just doing this at least once, when I can. Good. And then let's let the foot be like a mop head, and you just flop the foot, let it wiggle as you shake the lower leg. If that makes sense. We've got these lymph nodes, and it's just helping cleanse and release and letting some flow there. Good. And we let that go, let the foot find the floor. Good, then draw the knee, the second side knee toward the chest and extend that leg. Clasp the hands around the thigh or wherever you can reach, it doesn't matter. And flex the foot, heel toward the sky. And as you exhale, you come, heavy down through the pelvis. Yeah. Inhaling up, lengthen down as you exhale. Good, and then draw the knee to the chest. Inhale. Yeah, exhaling. And inhale, lengthen the leg again. Flex the foot, heel to the ceiling. Feel that stretch in the back of the leg, the calf muscle, the hamstring. Good. And bent knee one more time toward the chest. Drawing it in. One more. Let the back of the leg billow like a sail. That's where my modern dance teacher in Berkeley sneaks in. Just lengthening the back of the leg. Good. Wonderful, everybody. And then let the foot be like a mop and just flopping, let it flop as you sort of wiggle that lower leg a little. Good, shake it out, wiggle it out, and then you let the knee bend and the foot finds its way to the floor. And we come into, you have a couple choices here. You could come into your Supta Baddha Konasana or a supported Shavasana. So for the supported Shavasana, you could take a blanket or a couple of pillows and you let the backs of the thighs rest over the bolster. So in contact with that, you could have two bolsters lined up side to side. Yeah. And then the other option, then you just lay on your back with a blanket under the head. So the other option is to take a bolster or a blanket lengthwise on the mat and placing a blanket maybe up for the head and a couple of blocks if you have that, or you could fold blankets or use a couple of cushions off of your chair that might be nearby. Lots of ways to improvise. So here I'll just take the sacrum, the low back right up against the bolster, or set up in whatever deluxe arrangement you might have for your queen's pose. I'm going to take the blocks at an angle under the knees to support the knees. And when I say an angle, just make the flat part of the edge of the block come toward the knee so it's comfortable. Yeah. And then I'm just going to roll slowly back onto the bolster. And it's so nice. Maybe if you like, you might lift the tailbone slightly, drag it toward the feet, set it back down. And that is a chest opener too. Couple of chest openers this evening. So nice. So we'll just take a few rounds of breath here and draw the blanket under to the top of the shoulders, to the shoulder ridge, so that it supports the neck. Diane used to call it, when it wasn't supporting the neck, she'd call it yakasana. Good. So just breathe into the low back, send the breath there. The kidneys here. Into the chest, breathing into the space between the sternum and the spine. Or you just find whatever Shavasana just sounds wonderful to you. Maybe it's legs up the wall if you're lucky enough to have a wall. I don't have a wall handy right here. But if you do, just have at it. That's fantastic. Inhaling, exhaling, release the jaws. Relax the throat. And tongue is long and easy in the mouth. Eye gaze soft. Let the corners of the eyes be wide, with a little Buddha smile at the corners. And just releasing more and more. Supta Baddha Konasana, Queen's Pose. And deepening your breath. Maybe starting to make small movements with the body, maybe circling hands on wrists, feet on ankles. Good. And as you're ready, pressing on up to a seat, or you can roll to your side. On top of the bolster, and then pressing up from there. Taking a couple breaths. And pressing up to a seat Head is heavy and comes up last. Also feeling free to stay there as long as you wish. If you could stay there for 20 minutes or 15 minutes rather is better in that pose. Feeling like you can just do that and let the video sign off and you just lay there. And I welcome that. So I'll just come to a seat, get used to sitting upright for a sec. Breathing in, breathing out. And the beauty here too, if you have your video off, you really can just let go and do what you want here. So I'm just going to inhale, take the hands away from oneself, let the palms face up. Exhaling, palms together in front of the heart. And if you're laying down and relaxing, I'm just sending this to you. There's no need to be doing it, right? Inhale, exhale there. And may we live like the lotus at home in the muddy waters. Namaste. Thank you for coming to class. So good to see you.
Thank you, Nancy.
You're very welcome.
See you maybe next week.
See you next time. Ciao, everyone.
Bye. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, Nancy.
Bye.
You are welcome.
Thank you. Take care.
Cheers, you too. Drink water. Take care of yourselves. Bye.